Welcome to the AI for Career Success video overview by Curt Robbins. We're experts at AI coaching and helping professionals like you and your employees upskill in AI. Think about your daily work routine for a moment. All those countless clicks, the words you type, the applications you navigate. For a long time, these were just the simple mechanics of doing your job. Well, a fundamental shift is happening right now, and those very actions are being redefined as an incredibly valuable new resource, raw data for training artificial intelligence. Our analysis today is based on a recent and quite revealing report from TechCrunch. It was written by Lucas Ropik, published on April 21, 2024, and the title is Meta Will Record Employees' Keystrokes and Use It to Train Its AI Models. Okay, so let's get right into the heart of this. The core development here is that Meta has identified a brand new internal source for its AI training data, and that source is the daily computer interactions of its own staff. This marks a really significant move to harness internal corporate activity for AI development. Now, before we go any further, it's absolutely crucial that we're all on the same page about what training data actually is. You can think of it as the lifeblood of any AI model. It's the huge collection of examples, whether that's text, images, or in this case, user actions, that an AI learns from. The quality and the sheer quantity of this data directly shape what an AI can and cannot do. So, you have to ask, why is Meta doing this? Why implement this kind of policy? Well, let's take a look at the company's official justification. They're framing this not as a form of surveillance, but as a completely necessary step for innovation. A Meta spokesperson explained it to TechCrunch this way, and I'm quoting from the slide here. Our models need real examples of how people actually use them. So their argument's pretty straightforward. To build genuinely useful AI assistants, the models have to be trained on authentic human behavior, how we really interact with our software day to day. Of course, to address the obvious concerns this might raise, Meta was quick to mention protective measures. The company claims that it has safeguards in place that will shield sensitive content from being collected, and that this data will be used only for AI model training. Now, what's really critical to understand is that Meta's move isn't just happening in a vacuum. It's actually a signal of a much broader, industry-wide trend, and it's all being driven by an urgent, almost desperate, need for what you could call AI fuel. You see, the entire AI industry is facing a pretty significant dilemma. The demand for training data is practically insatiable. At the same time, the supply of new, high-quality public data from the internet is actually starting to run out. So, in response, these big tech companies are turning inward. They're looking at their own internal operations and creating what is essentially a new corporate supply chain for data. And this internal data mining goes way beyond just your current keystrokes. As the TechCrunch report points out, companies are now digging into their own archives. Think about it. Old corporate communications from platforms like Slack or project management tools like Jira. All of that is now being repurposed as valuable training material for the next generation of AI. This shift, as you can probably imagine, opens up a very complex and, frankly, a troublesome new frontier when it comes to privacy. That line between what constitutes your work product and what feels like your personal digital space is becoming increasingly blurry. And this creates a fundamental tension. On one side, we as employees have a reasonable expectation of privacy for our activities. But on the other side, corporations are now starting to see that very same activity as a valuable corporate asset, a resource that can be harvested to build a competitive advantage with their own proprietary AI. All right, let's boil all of this down to the key takeaways. For any working professional in today's environment, understanding this progression is absolutely vital. So step one is the news itself. Meta is using employee interactions as AI training data. Step two, their rationale. They argue it's essential for building practical AI. Step three is the broader context. This is happening as part of an industry-wide scramble for data because public sources are drying up. And that brings us to step four, the conflict. This trend creates a new and pressing tension between corporate goals and individual employee privacy. This all leaves us with a critical question to consider. As this pursuit of more and more advanced AI accelerates, it forces all of us to ask where precisely should we, as a society and as organizations, draw the line between what constitutes a corporate asset and what remains the private domain of an individual employee. Thank you for watching. This is where we teach you AI and help you get smarter than your competition. We encourage you to subscribe to the AI for Career Success YouTube channel. And please be sure to like, comment, and share this explainer. It really helps us reach a wider audience. If you find these overviews valuable, please consider using the QR code shown at the beginning of this video to buy us a coffee, or to hire us to coach you or your employees in AI. Your support is what allows us to continue creating this content.